Oh my God.
People wonder sometimes why there's more and more atheists and more people that say they don't practice or believe in any religion or any deities. Here's a pretty good reason why. Check out this clip.
The number of people in this government, including our ambassador to Israel and our Secretary of Defense, who have this like end times theology around this. Apparently, who knows how many senators and members of Congress share this view, as preposterous and absurd and disturbing as it is, offered by Ted Cruz, that you are commanded as a Christian to do what Bibi Netanyahu wants you to do. Yeah. That's his position. Okay. Then you couple that with the absolute religious zealot psychos that command so much power in Netanyahu's government, and you put that together with very clear indications that Trump himself has some sort of messiah complex after, narrowly escaping death in Butler, Pennsylvania. As if this isn't terrifying enough, the fact that you think that you have people involved, the most powerful people involved, who think they are commanded by the Bible or divinely destined to effectuate some outcome here, that shit terrifies me. I just object to any biblical or religious text being used to justify wars or foreign policy or national policy whatsoever. That is where I get off, regardless of how you want to interpret any particular biblical line.
So a little bit about my own story. So in regards to religion, I was raised Protestant. I went to a Methodist church. It was like Presbyterian church too. I went to church with the family until I was probably, 8 or 9. And then me and my brother kind of stopped going, sort of on and off with religion. I was kind of, I remember early on, I was kind of like put off by religion and kind of feeling like this is all kind of suspect. I'm not really sure if I believe in this stuff. I had some challenging times in my teens, so I kind of ended up going back to like a teen kind of church group thing. My parents sent me to like a vacation Bible school when I was younger for like the summer. I was really uncomfortable with all that. And I think when I was in basic training, really like our only escape, our only reprieve whatsoever from all the craziness that is basic training in the Army was to go to church. And I did have like sort of like a powerful sort of moment, but I was also at a really low point. Like at the time I was just struggling with the training, and it's a lot of stress. You're away from everything. It was my first time being away from home and everything. I had a very not so great conversation with my dad because I was trying to like they don't really give you much time to like talk to family, and it's like this hurried kind of thing. And so I tried to reach out to, I think, my mom and my brother, and ended up getting my dad. And then my dad, which, I don't really have any connection to my dad anymore, if that really tells you much. But he was sort of like hassling me about like some financial stuff, because the military wasn't totally honest with us or upfront with us about how they were going to hold some of our money, like $1,000 or something, to go on some sort of bank card, and you had to use it for all these supplies that we had already bought before we came there. And they like make you buy supplies. I don't know if that's always done, but that's what happened with us. And it caused a bit of a hardship because I also got less money than I was expecting. So it caused some hardships back home, and I wanted connection in that moment. And I got my dad kind of being a jerk about the money that I couldn't really do anything about. So I was at a low point, and that's the thing I hear a lot from people, whether it's like they were indoctrinated as kids, which I think is child abuse, if you ask me. Like, I've gone through like mandated reporter training like a whole mess of times, so I have a pretty good, and I studied, like I was a double major in psychology and sociology when I was going through my undergrad. That's like my second set of degrees, and then master's in psychology. So I have a pretty good understanding of like things that are kind of categorized as abuse, and I think it fits. So yeah, and then I just stepped away from religion in my like mid to late 20s, and my biggest issue is how religion tends to be used. And like, I see people use religion to abuse people a lot. It seems like a lot of kids end up sexually abused. A lot of abuse gets swept under the rug because it's authority figures. You don't question members of the church. I've seen too many documentaries where these like massive church organizations are just shuffling these priests around that have a documented history with kids. I'm not comfortable with the idea of some authority that you can't question. It kind of teaches people to not be critical thinkers. I don't know. And like throughout history, it just seems like there's been a lot of death and destruction in the name of religion. So I've found sort of secular values, and I consider myself agnostic. Sometimes I think I'm an agnostic atheist. Other times I'm kind of very anti-religion. I guess it depends on how much stuff I've been exposed to recently. Like, I want a better world, and I'm a secular humanist. I've been under very strong ethical codes in my professional career, and I've been in a lot of leadership positions. I've changed a lot as a leader over time, and the type of leader that I was has changed over time. And I'd like to think I've become the best leader in recent years than I had ever been up to this point. And I still don't really like, even as a leader who has done a lot of good work with people and work collaboratively with people, I don't see myself as an authority. I see myself as like someone with a skill set that has a responsibility. And from a moral standpoint, I'm like, I have this skill set, I need to use it, and I need to do good things. And I always try to question myself and make sure that other people's perspectives and skills are put to use, and I want their input, and I let other people guide decisions a lot, and like I want it to be like a group collaborative work. And from my understanding of systems and groups that have worked really well sort of throughout time are sort of cooperation style groups. It's not just like like the whole alpha thing is stupid. It's nonsense. It's disputed by the researcher that actually like came up with that theory, because he revisited it later. He's like, no, this whole like alpha, beta, whatever is just, it didn't work. It was like parents leading their pack and caring for their pack or whatever. And they often like switch roles. So I don't know. I take issue with religion and the beliefs in like a deity. Like sometimes I highly question whether there's any sort of supernatural anything, but I'm also humble enough to say, like, I need evidence to believe in something. Comes credible evidence. Like, I like the idea of having a standard where it's like extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And that annoys a lot of religious people, but like, that's not my problem. That's their problem. They have the burden of proof. And again, that's another one that they don't like. Yeah, but did you see that? Like, it's wild that people in important positions of power believe in that stuff. That like they're just gonna bring on the rapture. Like we're thinking this in 2025. So I said in another video we should talk about this stuff more, and I'm backing it up. I'm talking about it. I'll probably bring it up periodically. I know it's a touchy subject, but I think we got to talk about it more, to be honest. And, ask me if you want, like, if religion fits in society, and if so, how. You might be surprised by my answer as an atheist. Anyway, love you guys. To my, 26 people that are subscribed to my YouTube. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. This is a new channel. I wasn't expecting to even get that already. And for those that have commented, thank you. People that have hit the like button and the bell and and all the things. Thank you very much. For those on my TikTok, I think I got over like 1,000 followers now, which is really cool. I don't know how much of that is actual people and how much of that is like bots, but thank you everyone. Real people and bots included, I guess. I don't know. And it's not a lot on Blue Sky and Red Note. Actually, I've taken off on Red Note. People really liked my video of LA Strong, which was interesting. That was about the peaceful protest over there and, the authoritarians sending in the National Guard unnecessarily and the Marines. Like, I feel bad for the National Guard. I'm like, they must be bored as hell. And the Marines, I heard they didn't send them with like food and like, we're not sure about their pay. They're sleeping on the floors. I've done that as a soldier when I was in quick story. I don't know if you guys remember, there was some bombings in a subway station in London one summer. And my unit got deployed to go down to Brooklyn. And we were there to back up the Mass Transit Authority and the Long Island Railroad Authority. So we were in Grand Central Station and Long Island Railroad for like a month. And they had us staying in these like condemned apartment buildings. I'm not even kidding. And we didn't have beds or anything. We just slept on the floors. There was no air conditioning. I suspect there might have been asbestos and lead paint. Who the hell knows? They were literally condemned, and I'm not joking, because like the day we left after our mission was complete, we left and they started demoing those buildings. Like we saw a couple of them go down when we were like leaving. So when people say support the troops, I'm not sure the people in the top are getting that message, because I've heard stories like that over and over and over again from soldiers. Like we don't get treated as well as we should. And we put our lives on the line. We sacrifice. We took an oath. And I took my oath when I enlisted, and I meant it, and I still mean it. Swore an oath to our Constitution, and I think my oath was bigger than that. I think my oath is to all free people, or all people who should be free. That's why my username on YouTube and TikTok is Born Free or Die Fighting, because I believe all of us were free from our first breath. It just depends on if we sort of are born into chains or born with less rights. But we all yearn to be free because we should be. And if we're not free, we should fight our way to freedom or die in the fight, because that's our natural disposition as human beings. But we do that together. We stand up against the pressures. We don't oppress other people. All right, you guys take care. I really appreciate you all. Hope you can hear okay. My AC is running, so got some background noise. But I had to share that clip because it's pretty wild. All right, religion, man. It's not all bad. It's just the fundamentalists, fundamentally crazy, kinda. I don't know what else to call it. They need help. They need to get help. All right, bye.